Hey tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Woo! Well, here we are. It's Wiccan Wednesday. And I know we said we'd try to go outside today, but it is an Arctic chill here. I am not going out. Plus, I just got my new camera, right? Well, the batteries they sent were these cheapo batteries. And I literally was halfway through filming this video and the batteries died. So I'm not going out to get batteries now. It's just way too cold. So we'll do that. I'll go tomorrow to the store and get batteries. But I want to come here and be with you today for Wiccan Wednesday. First of all, before we get into all this, I want to say thank you for all of you, to all of you who have been continuing to send prayers for my healing. I'm doing much better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means the world to me. Also, thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's video. We had messages from the spirit world. If you didn't see that video, definitely check it out. It's in the queue right before this one, okay? So you can get a free psychic reading, mini reading over there at that video, and we do that every Tuesday. So definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. It's in the queue right before this video. Messages from the spirit world. Well, here we are. It's Wiccan Wednesday, and I thought, I wanted to do something fun and mystical today. And I thought, well, a lot of you have been asking me lately about teaching about the ancient gods. And some of you said, well, Psychic Bob, I'm trying to build my Wiccan pantheon. I don't know who to worship. The Carnunos isn't talking to me. Some of the other gods and goddesses, Selena and Diana, don't speak to me. Well, for those of you who are looking for a pantheon, for gods to work with, you might consider the mystical gods of India, the gods of the East. As many of you know, I have a great love for Lord Ganesh. We've talked about him here. And anyways, today I thought we'd talk about another wonderful mystical father, God, the father God, however you want to call it. He's the father of Lord Ganesh in traditional Hindu mythology. And he's here behind me. This is Lord Shiva, or Shiva, depending on how you pronounce it. It's spelled S-H-I-V-A. Some people say Shiva, some say Shiva. I say Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a powerful god. He is the mystic god of the yogis, the Lord of yoga. And some of you may have studied yoga, and you may be familiar with Lord Shiva. But if you don't know about Lord Shiva, maybe you have studied yoga and haven't heard of it. He is the god you want to pray to, especially if you want to get involved in yoga. But Lord Shiva is more than just yoga. It's believed that he is one of the Trimurti, one of the Trinity of Hinduism. Hinduism has a trinity of three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And we've talked about Vishnu here because, as many of you know, I love Lord Krishna. And Vishnu and Krishna are the same person. So part of the trinity is Lord Shiva. And this is Lord Shiva here behind me, as I said, master of the yogis. He is believed to be the destructive of the universe. Brahma creates the universe. Lord Vishnu sustains the universe. And Lord Shiva destroys the universe at the end of time. And now a lot of people say, oh God, that makes him scary. Not really. Lord Shiva is so compassionate that by his very meditation, he holds the cosmos together. And there are various forms of Shiva. In fact, let's just kind of briefly discuss some of the forms. As many of you know, the other day I showed you, I believe it was on Monday, this statue that I got. Let me bring it up closer. This is a beautiful statue. I got a deity form of Lord Shiva, and this is Lord Shiva Nataraj, and that means Lord of the dance. And it's believed that Lord Shiva, at the end of time, will begin a dance. And as he beats his drums, let's see, has he got drums in this one? Yeah, he's got flames. So some of them he's holding drums. Yeah, here's a drum in the back arm. As he beats his drum, the whole cosmos will collapse and it will be absorbed into Lord Shiva. Very powerful God. And all the souls go back to him and reunite with him. So Lord Shiva's destruction actually is a form of liberation, because even evil souls who aren't making progress, if they're there when Lord Shiva does this, they'll get drawn back to him. So there's actually ultimately good in his dance of destruction. Now, the other form is the form that you see behind me here, which is known as Shiva Shankara. Shankara is like the Shiva, the calm form, the yogic form, the mystical form, the one who gives blessings. Shankara is like the blessing giver. And you'll notice here that his hand is held up here. This is his hand held in blessing. Whenever you see a deity hold their hand up like that, that's a sign of blessing. That's how they give blessing. You'll see a lot of yogis and saints and different people hold their hands up like that, and that's a sign of blessing. So Lord Shiva, Shiva Shankara, is giving us his blessing. And Shiva is fascinating because it's believed that he dwells in the Himalayas, particularly at the mountain, Mount Kailash, I believe it's pronounced Kailash, I think. I can never say these names, some of them. But in Mount Kailash, it's a mountain in the Himalayan mountains in northern India. And it's believed that he resides there. And when he's in the mountains, he's in a trance state. He's in his samadhi state, which is his exalted trance. And by his meditation, he holds the whole cosmos in balance. There's a story that I read once in a book on Shiva, and it said that his wife, Parvati, who's Shiva's wife, one time was playing with him, and she snuck up behind him and put her hands over his eyes to see if he could guess who it was. Well, I wouldn't do that to a god, but she did. Well, she was a goddess. But when she put her hands over Lord Shiva's eyes, the entire universe started to dissolve. And she quickly let him return his gaze to bring back creation. So that tells you the amount of power that Lord Shiva has. Now, as I said, Lord Shiva is interesting because part of him is an ascetic. He's a yogi. He lives alone in the caves of the mountains, spends his time wandering and meditating and praying and devoted to, balance of the cosmos. The other part of him is when he comes down off the mountain, he becomes a family man. He has a wife named Parvati, and he has two children, one named Kartikeya, which we'll do a whole video on him, and then Lord Ganesh, which is the elephant-headed god, which you also know. So Lord Shiva has a whole group with him, but you can honor Shiva either in his family aspect or in his solitary aspect. So depending on what your focus is, he'll take different forms. You'll notice here the iconography. This is classical Hindu iconography. He has his staff with him. This is his three-pointed staff, which is a protection. He carries that as a sign of protection. He protects his devotees. It also represents that he controls all time, past, present, and future. All of the time is under the control of Lord Shiva. Here is his drum that he plays. And this is the drum that is believed to create or annihilate universes. He's wearing beautiful Rudrashka beads, which these are beads are made out of like a little seed, and they're considered auspicious for people to do yoga. A lot of people carry these Rudrashka, I can't say this, beads, and they chant the name of Shiva on it, okay? Or some other god that's associated with him. You'll notice in the background he has a bull with him. This is his beloved pet bull named Nandi. And Nandi travels, he rides on Nandi and travels around the world on Nandi. In fact, I also have a deity form of Nandi here. In Hinduism, the cow or the bull is worshipped. And here's a Nandi statue that I have. And it's kind of funny because, one country's sin is another country's blessing. If you remember in the Bible, those of you who study biblical history, the ancient Hebrews got in a lot of trouble because they built a golden calf, a golden cow idol, and worshipped it. And then Moses got angry and broke the 10 Commandments. Well, it's so funny because in Israel, in ancient Israel, it was considered a sin to have a golden statue of a cow. But in India, the cow is worshipped. In fact, you get blessings from God by honoring the cow. So when you honor the golden cow, you get Lord Shiva's blessings. Not a curse, but a blessing. So it's just interesting how different religions have different takes on things. I like the Hindu version myself, and I love my golden cow. Isn't he beautiful? So I get a blessing just by honoring the golden cow. Now, as I said, Lord Shiva has multiple forms. So he has Shiva Nataraj. He has Lord of the Yogis, Shiva Shankara, the blessing giver. And Shiva takes on an even more mystical aspect, which is an abstract form. You'll notice I'm wearing a pendant here. Let me take this off and show it to you. This pendant, if I can get it off here, is called a Shiva Linga. A Shiva Linga is an elliptical stone. Now this one is wire wrapped, but this actually is a real Shiva Linga from India. And a lady I know makes jewelry, got this in India and wire wrapped it for me. It was a gift. And it's just beautiful. You can see it's an elliptoid stone. And it's believed that the stone, that Shiva's reality can be abstracted down to a simple elliptical stone. And so in many Shiva temples, rather than having a big statue of Shiva in this form or this form, sometimes the temples will be bare, except they'll have one elliptical stone sitting on the altar. And that is the deity form of Lord Shiva. So if you like Lord Shiva, and you want to wear something that's maybe a little more discreet, you could wear a Shiva Linga, and you would bring in his presence in the Shiva Linga stone, and people wouldn't necessarily always know that it's a Hindu thing, or that you're a Wiccan and you worship him as one of your gods. So now, speaking of worshiping the gods, I've actually inquired of some Hindus that I know, like, how do they feel about Wiccans working with the Hindu gods? And it seems to be the predominant thought that they feel that the gods are universal and that anybody can worship them. And the Hindus are not saying, well, you have to convert to Hinduism to worship our gods. They say that the gods are for everybody wherever you are. Now, the Hindus I've spoken with have said, well, it's good if you honor them in the proper form. Like, you should know what the symbols are, know what they mean, and reverence it in that way, which I agree with. So it's like you need to understand what the Shiva Linga is before you wear it. But once you study the forms and the terms, then you're in a place you can actually reverence Lord Shiva. So that's like why I study Hinduism. Many years ago, I lived near a Hindu temple. I went there literally every day. So I learned all of this from Hindus directly. So, like, because I know Lord Shiva loves his sacred bull, I can honor that now because I've studied the mythology and honor him. We're going to probably do another video next week, but you'll notice here there's some other symbols I want to point out here. You see this big white thing coming out? This is actually water. Many times they'll show water coming out of the hair of Lord Shiva. And what this is this is the Ganges River. Lord Shiva is associated with the sacred river of India. The Ganges is the most holy river. In fact, this will have to be a whole nother video in itself on the Ganges. But the belief is that there's a goddess associated with the river, Mother Ganga, Goddess Ganga. And when she decided she wanted to come down to earth from heaven, she'd made her descent from the heavens. But Lord Shiva realized that if the power of the goddess would hit the earth full force from heaven, that it would damage Mother Earth. There's also the Earth Mother in Hinduism, like Wicca. You know Gaia? Well, Hindus have her, they call her Mother Bhumi, I think. Bhumi, B-H-U-M-I. And so, to protect Mother Earth from the fall of Mother Ganges, Mother Ganga, Lord Shiva stepped in and let her hit his head because he could absorb the shock. Water is very dense and heavy, and if you've ever seen water fall or had a hit, you can actually do damage. And so he let the goddess fall into his hair to absorb the shock, and then she flows out gently in rivulets into the Ganges basin. So the world, the earth, is not damaged by her fall from heaven. So Lord Shiva is believed to be connected to the sacred Ganges. And it's one of my dreams to go and take a dip in the Ganges. Someday I'm going to do that. And boy, that'll be a great YouTube video. Sacred Bob in India. Can you see it? Ooh. Well, we'll do that. Anyways, I just love Lord Shiva. He's very powerful and very mystical. There's a wonderful book I would recommend. If you're interested in learning about the life of a yogi and mysticism of India, particularly related to Lord Shiva, you might want to read this book, Autobiography of a Yogi, Autobiography of a Yogi, and it's by a wonderful mystic yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda. He's a very powerful guru. I've studied his works and writings. I love him. I think he's really cool. And in here, he used to have a picture of Lord Shiva. I don't know where it is now. Anyways, there's some pictures of Shiva in the book, but there's 1,000 pages in this. But this is a book also if you want to learn more about yoga. But to go back to my original discussion, which I got on a tangent about, can Wiccans worship the Hindu gods? Absolutely, yes. As long as you understand their meanings and symbols and you treat them reverently, they'll work for you, okay? So yes, Lord Shiva is a god who is available. Now, I actually read in some other Wiccan books, in fact, Anne Mora's book, and I don't have it here today, but in her book, Green Witchcraft, she says that that researchers are discovering that Lord Cernunnos, who's a Celtic deity, European god, if you look at his imagery, it's very similar to Lord Shiva. They sit cross-legged. They both have like bangles on their arms. It's believed that Lord Cernunnos is a deity, is actually the Western version of Lord Shiva. Isn't that interesting? So if you go study the iconography of Lord Cernunnos and Lord Shiva, you'll find that there's very many similarities. So, if you're, as I said, if you're looking for a god, you might want to explore Lord Shiva. Now, what are some ways that you can participate in worship of Lord Shiva? Well, one, you could get his picture and put it up. There are many, you could do an image search if you can't buy a big tapestry, but these are inexpensive. I paid $5 for this tapestry, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's all hand printed in India. It's just beautiful. $5 I paid for this. No shipping, free shipping. So you could go online like eBay and look up Lord Shiva tapestries, and you'll find this tapestry. It's like $5. And it's beautiful, just beautiful, all handmade, hand printed in India. In India, they make the most amazing things. Now, so you could do that, but maybe you can't do that, don't want to do that. You could also wear a Shiva Linga stone to honor Shiva, because this is his deity form. And for many people who don't have a whole altar, they will carry their Shiva Linga stone, and at night, they'll prop it up on hang it on the wall in front of them and use it to pray to Lord Shiva as the symbol of his presence. You can also get a small little Shiva Nataraj statue. They also make brass statues or stone statues, both, of this form of Shiva Shankar, the Yogi King. So there are a lot of different ways. Now, what else do you want to do? Well, one of the things you could do is you could chant Lord Shiva's mantra. And what is Lord Shiva's mantra? Om Namah Shivaya. There are many, but that's one that I know. Om Namah Shivaya. So Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Powerful mantra. I love it. The other thing that you can do is wear sacred ash. Lord Shiva is associated also as a lord of death. And so many people pray to him when they're dying, because Lord Shiva represents the impermanence of the physical world, that everything in the cosmos is changing, evolving, and eventually being consumed back into him. And so many times, you can't see here, but sometimes they show him covered in a white ash. And that's believed to be the ash from the sacred fires of funerals. They burn bodies, and sometimes the yogis will take the ash and anoint their bodies with it. There's also another type of ash, which is from a sacred fire. It's believed that wherever Lord Shiva is, there is a sacred fire that burns, that generates holy ash. And so many people, the devotees of Lord Shiva, keep holy ash on their altar to represent the fire that emanates from Lord Shiva, that creates the ash. This sacred ash is called vibhuti. And vibhuti is a sign of Lord Shiva. Don't worry, vibhuti is not from the funeral pyres. That's a different ash. This is from Lord Shiva's fire that he has to honor, the mystery of the universe. And they have this will have to be another video. So they have entire fire rituals in India. And whenever they have a fire ritual, they save the ashes and they give it out to people as blessing. It's called prasad. I happen to have here with me some beautiful sacred ash. This is ash that was given to me by Satya Sai Baba, and that's a whole nother video. I've got so many videos out of this. Satya Sai Baba is believed to have been an incarnation of Lord Shiva. And one of his mystical miracles is he would wave his hand and ash would fall out of it. He'd give devotees ash. And it's a whole nother story, which is a whole different video. But I have ash that I acquired from Satya Sai Baba. So it's sacred ash. And it's associated with his incarnation as Lord Shiva. So if you can get vibhuti, now you don't have to get Satya Sai Baba's vibhuti. Any vibhuti, you can go online and buy it. It's spelled V-I-B-H-U-T-I, vibhuti. Um, and what you do is you get a little bit of vibhuti. You can buy it like in a 4-ounce package. And then you offer it on your altar to Lord Shiva. And then you, each day, just take your finger. Usually they say use the third and the ring finger. And you just put some on your finger. And then you anoint it. Put a little dot here on your forehead. Oops, hold on, I just dropped it. And you can put it right on your forehead. It's like, you know how many of you on Ash Wednesday have been Catholic? You go get your ashes. Well, in Hinduism, you can wear your ashes every day. And so you can put just a little dot of ash on your forehead. And this vibhuti is so fine, it literally sticks. And traditionally, as you, oops, I got it all over me. As you put it on, you chant the name of Shiva. So you would say, Om Namah Shivaya. And this is another way to worship Lord Shiva. So like, I like Lord Shiva and I'm working on studying him lately. So I, as part of my day, I'm going to wear vibhuti every day. Now people might find that weird. I don't really care what people think. I go in public wearing tilak, wearing my crescent moon. And this is a wonderful way to honor Lord Shiva. So you can wear his sacred ash. Just put a little dot on your forehead. This is the third eye. And you'll notice here he has a third eye. It's also interesting, which I don't know if I can show you here. Let me see if I can get a little closer. Lord Shiva also has the crescent moon on his brow. This is a sign of his connection with the goddess. And so if you look at between his eyebrows, he has a third eye. That's the vertical line. This is the third eye. And then a crescent moon, which represents the goddess. And so, in the Wiccan faith, we also, at least in the Order of the Purple Crescent, we wear the purple crescent. So you could, as part of your day to honor your Wiccan heritage and honor Lord Shiva, is wear your crescent here and then put your dot above it. So that's something that you could do. But if you want to work with the vibhuti, you can buy that. Just go on eBay and look up vibhuti, V-I-B. Sometimes it's spelled V-I-B-V-I-B-U-T-I or V-I-B-H-U-T-I or sometimes V-I-B-U-T-H-I. Spelled different ways, vibhuti. But you can also just look up Hindu ash, puja ash. You'll find it. But that's something I would recommend. In fact, you know what I'll do to make it easier, because I can't remember so well. I'll find a listing for vibhuti, a store that has it. I'll put it in the box below, okay? So you can go if you want to get this. I love vibhuti because a lot of times what they do is it's very pure. Remember, it's burned down to ash. And they sometimes put a little bit of a light perfume scent in, mix it with it. So it's got a little oil mix in it, and it smells so sweet and nice, very pleasant. Now, if you're a big Hindu devotee of Lord Shiva, well, even if you're not Hindu, if you're Wiccan, the other tradition is to wear 3 horizontal bars of vibhuti. You can take it and you do 3 bars going across your forehead. I don't really like that. To me, that's just like overkill. But I think one little dot on my forehead works. Do you guys like that? What do you think? It's like if I was wearing his Lord Shiva vibhuti sign. And that's a great way to honor Lord Shiva as a devotee of him. So, as I said, explore the gods of the East. There's a lot of mystery, a lot of power here. And I think you'll get a lot out of it. Anyways, guys, well, listen, I'm going to keep it short, wrap it up here. I have to go feed Nandi. Part of the tradition also with Lord Shiva is that a lot of people keep the cow and they do little offerings to the cow. They'll put a little food out. I think it's sweet, Anyways, so we've got to honor Lord Nandi today too. But I thank you for being here. And may all of you, like Lord Shiva, have the dance of creation in your lives. May Lord Shiva bless you with creativity, as Lord of Dance, to be inspired to create something beautiful. And if you need to close a chapter in your life, maybe it's time to leave a job or leave a relationship, you can pray to him to help you have closure that is for the highest and best. So think of Lord Shiva as your friend to help you on the journey. You can learn yoga with him. You can discover the ancient mysteries. I think discovering, if you do yoga, that will help you as a Wiccan, because it's believed that you receive siddhis, which are mystic powers through yoga. So hey, who wouldn't want that? Especially if you want to do magic, that's going to definitely enhance your magic. Anyways, as I said, may Lord Shiva be with you. May he bless you, inspire you, and may you bring into your life all good and all creative things. I thank you guys for being here so very much. Listen, if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, I'm getting filled up, but I still have some openings. Give me a call, 703-825-3929. That's my office number. Or write to me, readings@robert-hickman.com. Links for all this will be in the box below. Visit my website, www.psychicbob.com. Again, link below. If you get over to my website, check it out. I got a number of books over there. I am a published author. Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom, Psychic Bob's Book of Spells, and many others over there. So definitely check out my books as well and pick up some reading material to help your spiritual life. Well, guys, I thank you for being here. I love all of you. And thank you for joining with us on our little class today on Lord Shiva. I hope it's brought you some blessings. Tell me in the box below, have you ever heard of Lord Shiva? Have you ever been to a Hindu temple? Have you ever seen a linga? Tell me what you know about Lord Shiva. If he's new to you, you've never heard of him, tell me that. I want to hear that as well. I'd love to hear how many of you are just now discovering Lord Shiva. Maybe you're a longtime devotee. Have you ever worn the sacred ash? Tell me about that. You guys are best. I love you. We'll see you here tomorrow. Be back here. Tomorrow's Thursday. Vlog Thursday. If the weather's better, we're going to try to go out and do an outdoor video. I'm not going to promise because of the winter, but we're going to try. We'll have something. Just be here, okay? We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, may you all always blessed be.